At this point, most health conscious people understand that you shouldn't use oils like olive oil to cook in, but they don't exactly understand why, and they still kind of use it anyway. Just so you know exactly why, when you heat an oil past its smoke point, or the point at which it begins to smoke, it becomes rancid and oxidized, and free radicals and other compounds begin to form within the oil that can be very damaging to your health. And when this happens, these oils get congested in your liver, and then liver stops producing bile, therefore stop producing stomach acid. And this has led to a myriad of health and digestive issues that just didn't exist nearly as much 30 years ago. And I'm talking about allergies like gluten and dairy and soy and nuts. And all of this is happening because of a congestion of so many of these free radicals and compounds jamming up our liver, blood, and arteries. And by the way, as I talk about in part 3, I'm not even a big fan of eating olive oil cold any longer because there's so many issues with it, between them being cut fraudulently with other oils, as well as becoming easily rancid to light. And I give you a few alternatives to that. But in part 1, we talked about animal-based oils that are great to cook in, and what I like to talk about here is plant-based oils. So first we have coconut oil. Now this remains stable at very high temperatures with a high smoke point, and if you're buying it just for cooking, I would buy refined, but other than that, I always recommend only getting organic, cold pressed, and extra virgin coconut oil. Now if you happen to be deep frying, which I don't recommend, you can use beef tallow or beef fat for that, because it has a higher smoke point than even coconut oil. The next oil that I am liking just as much as coconut oil is avocado oil. Avocado oil actually has a higher smoke point than coconut oil, but not as good a fatty acid profile, so I actually mix the two. The next oil I love to cook in is red palm oil. And this is different than palm kernel oil, which is refined and has other things in it that I don't like as well. Now, as far as which brands, that's very important as well, so I'm going to have links in the blog at theartofunity.com associated with this video on where to get those. Now, as far as animal-based oils, we talked about in part 1, I love tallow and ghee as mentioned. As far as plant-based oils, I love avocado and coconut oil. So I use a mixture of those, and I would suggest the same. Now, regarding any oils, vegetable oils that you find in the supermarket that are typical for cooking, I would avoid them all. That's canola oil, safflower oil, soybean oil, any of the ones you see, particularly with a clear bottle. When you see a clear bottle, it's an automatic indication that those oils are already oxidized. But what they do so that they don't smell, they'll put bleach and deodorizers in them, as well as many different unhealthy preservatives. Now, this would be the same as putting paint and perfume on your moldy food just to eat it. No one would ever do that, yet they do it with oils all day long. This is one of the reasons why you really want to avoid eating fried food, particularly deep fried foods, when you're eating out in a restaurant, because they use all of these oils because it's a less expensive way for them to go. Not only do they use these rancid oils, they then, after heating them, they cool them, reheat them, and use them again over and over again, which causes a myriad of other problems. In addition to ingesting them being so bad, also breathing them in is terrible, the fumes from them. In fact, a 2010 study in Britain and Switzerland showed that chefs and other restaurant workers have a higher rate of respiratory cancer. This is linked to all kinds of other health problems like diabetes, birth defects, other types of cancers, and so many more. So as a rule, if it's in a clear bottle, don't buy it or use it. And you never want to use vegetable shortening or margarine. These are full of trans fats, and those cause a whole host of other problems, and they can stay in your body for a really long time. So if you want to read more on this, there are great books like Know Your Fats and Fats That Heal, Fats That Kill. And I'll have a chart explaining more about fatty acid profiles based on those two books at the blog associated with this video. Now, understanding oils is just a small part of the equation of becoming more healthy. Another aspect of it is the cookware that you use. You want to make sure you're using cookware that doesn't put any toxins or heavy metals into your food or into the air that you breathe. And that's using ceramic cookware, 100% ceramic, like the ones I have here, not just coated in ceramic. And I'll have links for these at the blog at theartofunity.com, or titanium. Now, the other thing is maintaining a healthy diet, obviously, but always cooking at low temperatures when possible and eating as much raw food as possible. So for more videos like this on health and wellness or healthy recipes and more, you could subscribe here or check us out at theartofunity.com. So good luck with this.